I'm delighted to be here. Can everybody hear me? Is that okay? Buddy, would you close that door maybe? I know you are here for some kind of concerns, and what I'd like you to do is just kind of scroll through this and think about who you are looking or what you are looking to protect. We have a tagline, strategic planning for the generations. What we're looking to do is that we are looking to take care of the whole family. We can take care of the eldest of the elders like me. And if we take care of these generations, then we're also taking care of our children. I'd like you, if you don't mind, kind of tell me what you're looking for. Estate planning, anybody? Just kind of get an idea and to determine what I might skip. Asset protection, Medicaid planning, okay, just in case. Veterans benefits. Any veterans? Or maybe have parents who are veterans? You know, the parents can get, in fact, we use most of our deal with parents more than the younger people, the ones who were in World War II or Korea. Life care planning, ever heard of that? Heard of it, good. Glad to hear that. And then long-term care planning and financing. A lot of you should be thinking about that. I want to tell you that these are specialties. And there's so much to be done in terms of planning, and people don't realize what can be done. And people say, I got a will, I got a lawyer. But the question is, do you have the right lawyer, and does your will do what you want to do, and do you have the right kind of documents to take care of what you need? Tax planning, obviously that's a specialty. Estate planning is a specialty. I mean, you really have to work at that. I've been doing this almost 45 years, and I study the law, and I work on the forms that I use for all of the documents. Then there's elder law, which is a relatively new specialty dealing with estate planning, but there are also other issues that you have as you get older. And so, I'm a member of the what's called the National Academy of Elder Lawyers, and they deal with just elder issues. Also, we are members of the Elder Council who deal to help us with forms, etc., to practice. And then life care planning, which I will tell you about a little later. Okay, I want to tell you how I got here. I thought I had the perfect life 20 years ago. Beautiful wife who's here. I see she walked out. Yes, had a great law practice. Tax, had wealthy clients dealing with complicated tax strategies, and there's Cheryl.
Beautiful wife.
Teaching at the law school, speaking at the state bar, but then on a ordinary spring day, I played golf with my buddies, cooked steaks for my family, took a shower, and was getting ready for bed, and my perfect life was shattered. My son found me on the floor of my closet, not moving, not talking. I had had a massive stroke. Right side was paralyzed, could not talk, read, or write. There was a shot that was given me in the ER that gave me the right use of the right side. But the speech was a little different. This is the first worksheet that we had in the ICU. When my wife was showing me how to make sounds, B, bi, bo, a. We had to use a mirror for me to figure out how the mouth works. So I went to the hospital. We had a wonderful therapist who would see me. And I went to see her 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, for 3 months. And in the afternoon, I'd go home and work on what she had taught me. And so, in the meantime, I knew, when I was in the ICU, I knew that God had me in His hand. And I tried to figure out what happened, why. I mean, why did I not die that night? Why was I not paralyzed? But I knew that there was something going on. For 15 years, I asked God, why? Not why did I have it, but why did you leave me? There was silence. But then, I don't read a lot of poetry, and I certainly do not know much about T.S. Eliot, but this showed up. And I knew that this was God's answer to me, to go back and do what I did before, with a little different perspective. So I decided to do that by myself. Before I was with a law firm, big law firm, but I decided to do myself on my own so that I would not have to deal with any other egos, just mine. So we just got mine. So, going through all of that and realizing how important it is to plan. I had done all the planning for me. My family would have been fine had I not recovered. But I'm still trying to get people to do the planning. I'm not going to beat this to death. Y'all have heard this. These are the 3 things that you really need to have. Those 3 things. You got to have them. Actually, the power of attorney may be more important than the will nowadays because we live so long. And then advanced health directive. We have a relatively new form, I think 7 years old. So you need to get everything up to date. And when you are looking to deal with that, find the right lawyer. Okay, I want to talk to you a bit about a number of little things, concerns that I have about people. A lot of people, as they get older, they are concerned about probate, thinking they'll be awful, which is not in Georgia. In fact, I tell people Georgia's the best place to die in because the probate is so easy to deal with. Then also, a lot of people are concerned about winding up in the nursing home, and the nursing home is going to take everything, which is not right. But what they do is they give make gifts to the children. I just give them to the children and tell them just hold it, just in case I need it, and after I'm gone, it's yours. Here are the problems with it. You give it to the child, and the child dies, then it goes to whoever, heirs, through the will, intestate, to her children, maybe the in-law. Divorce might wind up with the in-law. And then debt. The debt is not necessarily the debt that they incur, but you never know when somebody might have a car wreck and be at fault and get sued, get a judgment against them, and the judgment creditor can take any of the property that's in their name. So that's not a good thing to do. Here's another reason not to give property to children. This has to do with tax. Okay, I'm a tax lawyer, so I have to talk about the tax. Let's say the top one here is a residence. So you give it to, this is the case. I have a client who did this, who gave his house to his children, but he had, his investment in the house was the tax basis $100,000. So that if the children were to sell it, they would have capital gain of $400,000. Tax $120,000. Then he also had stock, a local bank that he had founded. It was worth $500,000, but his basis, his investment, 50. So there is his capital gain. So here's the total tax if they were to sell all of that. What we did, though, is that we had them to give it back to the father, put it in a trust that we created, and if they will just hold the property until the father dies, they will get what is called a stepped-up basis for all the property that's in the trust. So there'll be no tax. So that's another reason not to be giving properties to the children. Here's another thing that people hold the IRA. Now, this is my retirement. I'll hold this until I have to use it, and that's okay. But at some point, somebody is going to pay tax on the IRA. You know, whether it's a spouse or a child or whoever. And so let's say this cost, this $180,000 would generate a tax of $54,000. But here's what we're seeing a great deal with a lot of older people or people who go to assisted living facilities. If you're living in an assisted living, then all of the fees are tax deductible. So in this situation, you would have created a $48,000 deduction. And then other medical expenses, so you got $60,000. So you can actually draw $60,000 out from the IRA with no tax on it. So after 3 years, you've taken that all out and not paid any tax on it and saved that $54,000. Just a basic, not basic planning, it's tax planning. Here is another thing. How should you own your property? Litigation is a pox everywhere. If anybody gets hurt, anything, does anything bad to anybody, they're going to sue you. And if you have any assets, they'll be looking for your assets. So, let's say in this situation, there's a judgment of $5 million, and that is certainly not unheard of. So, I got a liability policy, say $3 million. So then they've got another $2 million that they want to get. And so they will be able to take the house, and then the brokerage account, it's in your name, they take that. The only thing that they can't get is the IRA. You can't get that. But the rest is susceptible to these judgments. So what can you do? Here's what we do. In this situation, what we do, we would use a trust for the house and put an LLC to hold the brokerage account. The IRA is safe, so now all of this is basically safe. So this is some other planning that needs to be done. Okay, so that's it for the estate planning. Then, when I started practicing, my wife's mother, Virginia Coker, called Cheryl. Said, Cheryl, I think that the VA has got some money for me. Cheryl's father was in Germany in World War II. And so Cheryl called the VA and asked him about it. I said, no, she won't qualify. She's got just too much income. She had $1,000 in Social Security income. So that's not right. Try again. So she tried again. The next day, they said, no, she won't qualify because she's on Medicaid. I said, this cannot be right. And so I started looking into the VA improved pension. And she became my first client, and I got it for her. So here is I'm not sure that many of you are really interested in this, but I'm going to kind of run through this. This is the amount of money that's out there. Tax-free for life. A spouse, a veteran with a spouse can get $21.20 per month for life. And if the single veteran will get $17.88. Anyway, and there's a five-year spouse, $11.49. And what we are doing with a lot of people, probably half of our clients, that we are doubling the income of a surviving spouse.
Is that in addition to Social Security?
Yes. Yep. Yep. So what you have to do, 90 days of active duty, 1 day during a war, there are periods, and we've got them back here if you have any interest in it. We'll show you, we've got a little flyer to show you those. And you have to have a discharge that is not dishonorable. Veteran has to be 65 or disabled. The widow does not have to be of any age. And also you have to show that you need some help with some of the activities of daily living. Here's what we hear from people. They think it's welfare. It's not. It's a pension, just like IBM. If you were to work for IBM at the University of Georgia, you retire and you get a pension. I'm okay, don't need it. But one day you might need it. Why don't you go and get it now? Which is what we would say. And you would think that you could call the VA. Cheryl tried that. They did a study, and they answered, they called, this is called their regional offices, and would say, I am a friend of a veteran when he qualified. And they had over 1,000 calls. And at the end of the day, 35% of the answers were right. Which means you call, you got a good chance of getting a wrong answer, 65%. And then also you see about their proficiency. Yes. that passed. So, we started doing this in September 2011. That's that 9/11. And so far, we have received 333 pensions. Actually, now it's updated to 335. And we have not lost one, and we are really proud of that. So we have helped 330 people. Half of them probably have doubled their income. Okay, so we're doing that. And after about 4 years, I would see all these people who would come to see me. I typically deal with the children of the World War II, Korean War veteran. And we talk to them and they say, Mama broke her hip. She's in rehab. She's going to have to get out. And I don't know what to do with her. And I had to say, I cannot help you. I can get you some money. I can set up all your legal documents. But I cannot tell you where to go. And that really bothered me. So, praying, researching, and I finally found that somebody else had the same concern that I did. There was a lawyer in Tennessee. And so I called him. I said, come up here and I'll show you what I do. And I found out that he had created a new kind of elder law called life care plan. What we see is that on the left side, you retire, and on the other end, you're doing the estate planning, which is what I have done. But the estate planning is basically what happens when you die. But what are you going to do in the meantime? Nowadays, we have a lot of people who retire at 65, and they live to be 95. What are you going to do for the next 30 years? And there's so many things that can happen to you in that period. So what we do is that we have to look at your situation and tell you what we could do with Mama or Papa or whoever that you're trying to deal with. And so I went up to Tennessee and I talked to him, and he said, here's what you have to do. You have to hire the people who have the knowledge that you don't have. And I did. So what we do is that we change. People come to see me and they say, Mama's going to go to the nursing home, can you save the house? It's almost more than half of people come in for that. But no, here's what we need to do. We really need to make sure that we create the best quality of life for her, not just to keep the house for you. So what we do, we use this continuum. What we do, this is a reality check. So that we look at, we do an assessment for the client. What kind of functions do they need? And then also the second line to look at where they live and where they should live. And also look at the cost of care on the third line. And then we also look at all of their resources. And here's the way we do this. We put it on a whiteboard. So you'll see up there the 4 lines, and over here you see the ZZ. This client is about midway of the first line, so needed help, should be in an assisted living facility, but is living at home. So the triangle is the danger zone. Should have been in an assisted living facility, living in home, so you have to figure out a way to make it not so dangerous, to make it safer. And so we have to deal with that. And our care coordinator does the assessment, and then we figure out what needs to be done. Do they need some home health care? And then we also look at the amount of what it'll cost. The ALF is 4,000 to 6,000. And here's the nursing home, which is looking to stay away from the nursing home. Our purpose is to keep them out of the nursing home. And then we also look at the resources. And this is the reality check, figuring out what they really have to use. Here's the income, medical expenses. There's a negative here, and that's fine as long as they are living in, if she's living in a home. But she's living in a dangerous situation. So you need to spend more money. So whatever needs to be paid, it'll come out of the cash. You may have to help sell the house. I have upset a lot of children when I told them that this is Mama's house, it's not yours. So you may have to sell it to make sure that you take care of it. So what we did is that we hired 2 care coordinators. Emily, I think most of y'all have met Emily McCord. She just talked to you. In fact, and then Bree Simmons, who is in Athens. So that what they do the assessment for the clients and also give them all the advice in terms of what needs to be done. So this is what we do. This is not just your typical elder law firm. So we do a lot more than that. The problem that you run into is you're having to deal with a parent, a loved one. You have to deal with people who are business people, and they are selling something. And typically, say, an assisted living facility or home health care agency, what they're looking to do is to sell what they have. And so you get a big time conflict of interest. So you don't know, and you really don't know what's the right thing to do. And so what we're able to do is that we give you objective advice for you folks. Okay. Ever heard that? This is my generation. Yours too. I came to thinking about what we're doing for these people, this other generation, the eldest. But what are we doing for ourselves? And after doing a lot of thinking, and I found out that these are stats, these are real. 10,000 of us are turning 65 every day. I will probably go to 85, I guess. Who knows, maybe longer than that. So who's going to take care of me if I have another stroke? A lot of people think the government's going to take care of it. They just don't want to think. I don't want to think about it, but I'm sure somebody's going to take care of me. It's got to be the government, right? That is not going to happen. So here's Bob, my friend Bob here says, I may be going to think about it. Most people don't want to think about it and don't think about it. Long-term care. These are activities of daily living. Let's say you wake up in the morning, first thing you do is you sit up, you go to the bathroom, you have to cold until you get there, and then you go to the bathroom, then you bathe, and then you dress yourself, and you go have breakfast. So those are your activities of daily living. But if you have to have help with a couple of those, then you need long-term care. And this is what really hit me. 7 of 10 who are over 65, I am now 69, will need some long-term care in the average term, 3 years, and it can easily cost $100,000 per year. I mean, this is real money. 2 or 3 people use family members. And you can see that last, how much lost income they get. I mean, that, a lot of people, the children lose their health trying to take care of their parents. So, and this is my question to myself. Who will take care of me? Will my wife take care of me? Will my son, who picked me up on the floor of the closet, who's in law school now, will he take care of me? Just pull him out of law school and let him do that? So, how will I come up with money to pay that $100,000 per year? What will I say? Well, this is where long-term care, you find it in the home. In the home. Typically, family member, or if you have enough money, then you can pay somebody to do that. A paid caregiver. Here's what we are seeing now. The government is paying 69% of it, but it's not going to keep. There's no way it can keep doing that. Y'all know that. I mean, this election, I don't know either. I'm not sure which is worse. But we know it's not going to be good no matter what. So there's no way that the government is going to take care of us. People say, all right, Medicaid, Medicare, they are quite different. And a lot of people don't know what they will do. Medicare does not take care of long-term care. It's a short-term fix. You go to the hospital, it'll take care of some things, but once you are out, then it's gone. Medicaid. This is the last thing that you want to have to deal with, because typically you have to use up pretty much everything that you have. Although I will say this though, that we do a lot of Medicaid planning. Bailey Fields here, who is my other lawyer here, does our Medicaid so that we can plan. If you can go ahead and start planning, then we can save a great deal, almost most of your assets before having to file for Medicaid. But here again, if you get to that point, you got to be in a nursing home. This is what we're trying to keep you away from. So, what are our options? Our options. One, the one that says be poor, that's the one to go to Medicaid. Let Medicaid take care of it. Live in a nursing home. Be rich, if you've got plenty of money, you don't have to worry about it. Then there is an alternative that I have found that is really a good avenue, so you can be insured. If you plan, then you can take care of where you're gonna live, and you can use some of the government tax incentives that I'm gonna talk to you about. You hear about long-term care insurance, and you may have some. Here's typical, okay? Here's Cheryl's policy that I bought 10 years, 15 years ago. She gets $4,500 per month for life. You don't hear new insurance policies that'll do that for life. So there's her premium. Then here's mine. Will give me $3,000 per month, but for only 3 years, and that's typical. And there's a premium for that. Fortunately, I have found something else for me that's much better than that, and I'm working on something better than Cheryl, because I do not think that $4,500 is enough. I don't think $3,000 is enough, especially over 3 years. I'm looking at hoping that my clients can get up to $10,000 per year. So, the governments have given us some incentives. They realize, Congress, that they have finally done something good, I think. That they realize that the government cannot pay for all of our long-term care. So they gave us some incentives so that we can buy some new policies. I'm going to give you 3 situations. Here's Mary, who has an IRA and some cash, and she does not like the idea of additional long-term care because they have denied her. But here's what she can do. She can take the IRA, which is taxable. You can tax-free into a life insurance policy that will give a death benefit of $300,000. And she can, if she needs long-term care, she can take out $450,000 for home health care, assisted living facility, or nursing home payments. So that what she has done is that she has leveraged her IRA 1 to 3. And it's an investment. She can draw it out if she wants. She can get a full refund of the premium that she just paid. So it is an investment. It's not like what I've been doing, paying these premiums for this traditional long-term care insurance. There's no more premiums. She's already paid the premium. But here again, she can take it out if she doesn't like it at some point. Then is the Pension Protection Act. Ever heard of that? They'll allow you to change life insurance policies and put them into a new kind of policy with a long-term care policy to take care of long-term care. And also you can take a non-qualified, which is a deferred annuity. Maybe some of y'all have them. A lot of people would use those for retirement. You give a good premium to the big premium to the insurance company, and they just hold it. It's tax deferred. You pay the tax on the income when you take it out, and they call it non-qualified or deferred. So now, though, what you can do, you take one of those annuities and turn it into a new annuity, and I'll show you about Bob. Here's Bob. He spent $100,000 to buy his annuity. Now it's worth $200,000. So if he were to take it out, he pays tax on $100,000. But what he can do now, he can take that deferred annuity and tax-free exchange into another annuity with long-term care, so that he could get $600,000 tax-free payments if he needs help with his long-term care. Leverage again. 1 to 3. 200 goes to the 600. And he can take it out at 2. This is an investment. So the annuity is there. It's not going to go anywhere. So if he dies, then the children or whoever will get the $200,000. So here again, leverage. And so he's got $600,000 of payments that he can use. Here's another couple, and this is an example. I received this proposal. So here they are. They got that IRA, $250, and what he can do, he can take that $250 from the IRA. You can tax. Now that's taxable. Okay. You can tax free into a policy. A life insurance policy is joint with both of them. When the second one dies, it goes to $500,000 as a death benefit. That will go to the children. In the meantime, they can take out $10,000 per month each. And this is the number I'm looking for. And if they will pay $2,500 per year, that $10,000 per month each stream of income is lifetime. And that is a deal. In fact, as a number of my clients say, that is a no-brainer right there. $10,000.
Question.
Yeah.
This apparently working with insurance company, the annuity company. How secure are most of these insurance companies? I mean, this almost was too good to be true, you know.
Yeah.
Well, the ones that I deal with are A+. That's what we can do. So, yeah. I mean, yeah, you just, they have to be solvent.
Right, right.
Yeah, they do. Okay, so this is, that's their strategy. And here again, and they can always take that money back out if they don't like that. Okay. I'm not going to go through all of that. But what we are doing is that I feel that this is my calling to comfort people. And so we are here to help the people that have the loved ones who need some help. I bet you need the help to take care of your loved ones. Also, we're looking to take care of you all, my generation, because like I said before, if we can take care of our parents and if we can take care of ourselves, then we can take care of our children too, because they don't have to be a burden. We don't have to be a burden for them. So, and if we can help you, we'd love to do that. And you might think about it. That's what I thought would happen when they put it in, come back. So, thank you. Any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Yeah.
You had a slide which shows that if you have a brokerage
I'm sorry?
account, we can put in a LLC to protect. How does it work from the inheritance point of view and all that?
Just as if you had owned it directly.
What's the question?
Oh, the question is, if you put the brokerage account in an LLC, how about the inheritance? It's just as if you owned it individually. The LLC, we call them membership interests, like partnership interests, would go to the same people. So, tax-wise, the great thing about LLCs is that you can put assets in it and take it out without tax ramifications of all. So you can put anything in, take it back out without tax. But it's a great, and basically it's about the only way to keep things safe other than put it in the trust when somebody other than you are the beneficiaries of the trust. And you don't want to do that, you know. If you're too young to do that. You don't want to put it in a trust so that your children are the beneficiaries. Or you might. Most people don't want to do that. But the LLC is a way to do that.
So you do not, the inheritance, person who gets the inheritance doesn't pay the tax? In
Well,
LLC?
you have to deal with the estate tax. The question is what are the taxes if we were to do that. But you have to look at the estate tax, which now has an exemption of $5.5 million. But if it's over that, yeah, there could be some estate taxes. But other than that, you can, through the estate, you can leave $5.5 million to your children without paying any tax on it.
Can I ask you a Medicare type question? And just see where we can go from here. My sister-in-law had struggled, just like you did. And she is paralyzed down her complete left side. She's been in rehab. They threw her in rehab. They dumped her, out of that. She has no income. They've spent all the money that she had. They've tried to get her on Medicaid, and they denied Medicaid because, here's the reason they gave. She used to work for AT&T. AT&T carries not an insurance policy that pays. It has no cash value, but at her death would pay $300,000? About $30,000. And they say because AT&T has this policy on her, which she can't get anything now until she dies and her family can get it, that she can't qualify for Medicaid. Can we do something there?
Never heard of anything like that.
Well, that's exactly what they're continuing to say.
And I will say that we don't think too much of the VA or the Medicaid.
Needless to say, we don't need it.
I don't know that. Have you ever heard of that?
If there's no cash value, as long as you don't have anything else set aside for burial, then it should be fine. I don't see any reason why they're telling you that.
Have you appealed it? Has it been
Yes, it's been appealed.
And they're working on appealing it
Again, yeah.
But they just, my nephew and his wife have done everything they think they can do, and they just get no response. Everybody tells them that she needs to be in a skilled care, that she needs more than just personal care or assisted living. Right now, she's in personal care because that's all they can afford. She is, in her insurance is paid for skilled care for a couple of weeks, hopefully, because she was in the hospital when she has a blood infection, so she has to have an IV antibiotic for 2 weeks. Okay, the personal care will not do that, so they do have a nursing home. Okay, they need to keep
there's no cash value, there's no reason that she shouldn't be approved. And there's
That was
no
my
money
thought,
set
too.
aside.
I mean, that's just a no-brainer. I mean, this is
She
stupid.
doesn't own a home. The only asset she has right now is a vehicle.
And she's out.
And that's all she has. She can't drive. She cannot do one thing for herself except if you pull a tray up in front of her and give her food, she can feed herself. She can talk. I mean, she doesn't have a problem with that, but her complete left side, she can't even pull herself up in the bed.
Medicaid can be a nightmare to deal with, like VA, and so, I mean, I always encourage my folks that even if there's a little pot of money, to go to somebody that does Medicaid planning, because it can be just so much of that headache can be avoided.
Would you all please fill this out? Tell us how we do it. Okay. Give me an idea in terms of what your concerns are. And also, we'd be delighted to have a free consultation with you. And also, we have got these books that are, you know, Lisa's got these books, and you're welcome to get a book. This is about long-term care, what your options are for the long-term care. So,
I have another question.
yeah.
My wife is on disability with Medicare, and will that ever expire? They roll it over to regular Social Security, and if that's the case, will she lose disability benefits, or will the benefits continue the same?
I'm not sure how that'll work, but to me, I was disabled until I was able to come back to practice law. But that happened about the same time that I turned 65, so that I could get the regular Social Security. But I did not lose anything from it. I got it the same amount of money that I had before.
Okay,
But that's just my case.
yeah, she's you know, she's got all these doctors and prescriptions and whatnot that'll be taken care of by Social Security. But if it rolls over into just Social Security, you know, then would you lose those benefits?
No, I would think the Medicare, they still have that. There's the Social Security and then the Medicare. The Social Security will change, but she should still have the Medicare.
The same?
Yeah.
Yeah, how about the
What you
payments?
can do too, is when you get 65, she can get a supplement. My suggestion is make sure you get a Medicare supplement, such that what you'll do, you'll pay a premium every month to get for that policy. But when she has to go to the doctor or the hospital or whoever, you won't have to pay anything.
She won't lose the amount that she's receiving now. It won't be stepped back down to a lower level, you know, you know,
Okay.
so.
We have, my husband and I have an annuity account, and it's recommended to us that we take that annuity and turn it into the annuity with the long-term care benefit. So, I mean, we've kind of done the preliminaries for that. But I guess my concern right now is I just want to make sure that the company that we're looking at, like we were talking about, stays solvent and is an A+ rating and everything, is there a place to actually research some of the companies that
Yeah,
are
just Google,
offering this?
Google AM Best, BEST, AM Best, and you can look at all the insurance companies.
Oh, okay, and their ratings and all that, okay.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that's the best way to go, to be able to,
Yeah, just make sure you're dealing with a good company.
right. very good
Yeah.
company.
Because, yeah, there's a real concern. That is a concern. Like, the risk is that the insurance company goes down.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I
So-
mean, and I had the same question. I mean, it's like, this is almost too good to be true. How are they offering to possibly triple, you know, the money that I'm putting into it?
I
But
don't know.
it's,
Actuaries are a lot smarter than I. But they have figured out a way. If you're going and put that money in the pot now,
you know,
then they can make that happen. How that happens, I really do not know.
I guess they're hoping they get enough money, they can make enough investment that they'll
Right, that's
They're
it.
in it for making
Yeah,
money.
they're assuming that you won't need to use it.
But if you don't use it, your portion you get back, right?
Yeah.
Not what they match, but the portion that you put in, you do get that back with your
Right.
assessment.
If you don't have to use any of that, you get it all back.
And you
In
can
fact,
only
you
use
get more than that
Yeah.
at death.
If you do it with the life insurance, right?
Even with an annuity though, if you have the annuity, then at the time of your death,
Right.
it's still there, it'll go to your heirs.
Your investment, but
Right.
not anything else, not any of their match part, right?
No,
Okay.
I mean, you have to look at the policy and see what the number looks like. Okay, thank you for coming in, and if you don't mind, would you leave these here
Leave them with me, can I give them a look?
to Cheryl here, if you don't mind?
Okay, appreciate it.